So in this video, we're just going to be creating a simple Chrome extension. It's relatively simple. All it's going to do, it's going to read the playback time of a certain YouTube video. Then based on the video, it captures some comments and it floats or shows the comments. Let me show you. So there are some comments at the 39-second mark. Let me speed it up to 34. And so on the back end, we're pinging the YouTube API. We're getting comments, we're sorting the comments based on timestamps. We're pushing that to the front end, and the front end is showing all the comments on the screen right here. So if this interests you at all, stick around. Let's begin. So I have a basic Chrome extension up and running. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll have a link in the description below or a card on the top right to a video I did. It just outlines how a Chrome extension works, what all the moving parts are, and how those moving parts communicate with one another. I'm not going to go over that in any of this video. If I did, this video would easily be another 25-30 minutes longer. Just a boilerplate, basic Chrome extension. This is the manifest.json we're working with. The name, let's say YouTube pop-up commenter. The description, let's just say pops up comments according to playback. We have version 0.1.0, manifest version 2. I just have some icons here, background scripts. This is important. We're injecting or loading up the jQuery. We'll be using the Ajax instead of the fetch because that helps us with the cores that we're going to have to get past. So jQuery, this is the background script. The options and the pop-up pages are just here because it's a boilerplate setup. We're not using that, so you can ignore that. Permissions, we're going to need the tabs. We're going to need the domain youtube.com/watch. And I don't think we're going to need storage, but I'll just leave it there for now. So this is the manifest.json we're working with. Let's go to, what are we going to do? Let's do this. 4 or 5 steps. First step is we're going to create a project in the developer console in order to get an API key that we can then use in the YouTube data API to get the comments. Then we're going to, this is the video we're working with. We're going to get all of these comments here, and based on things like this, we're going to search in the comment for a timestamp. If there's a timestamp, we're going to push that to the front end, and when that time corresponds on the playback bar here, it will fade or, it will float the comment up on the left side. So let's start with getting a project going with the developer console. So you have to have obviously a Google account or a YouTube account to do this. So you go to your console.developers.google.com. We're going to create a new project. I'm going to call mine, let's just say YouTube pop-up comment. No organization, we'll just create. And this should give us access to the library. We're going to register the YouTube data API, and we're going to get a key for that. All right, so now we're in the YouTube pop-up. I should have said pop-up, whatever, pop commenter. We'll go to library. We're going to search for the YouTube, I think it's data API 3. YouTube, this one right here. YouTube data API version 3. We'll click that. We're going to subscribe to that. Where is it? Enable, there we go. Should give us an API key. And there are 2 ways to access this API or to use this API. You can go based on the OAuth. We'll go to credentials right here. So you can go based on the OAuth 2.0, or you can just get a simple API key. We're just going to use the simple API key. So we're just going to say create credentials up here, plus API key, creating API key. And this is the API key we're going to use to access the YouTube API. I'm going to copy that. And let's just paste it in a notepad for now. There we go. That's our API key. So let's go over to the YouTube data API, and we're going to get the code needed to get the comments. So go over to developers.google.com/YouTube/v3, and we're going to go for search for content, and we're going to go over here on the left side, comment threads, go to list, and we're going to use their little form to create a piece of code that we can just copy and paste. So part we're going to need is snippet. We don't want all of the comments. We just want a snippet of the comments. All threads related to channel ID, we don't need. Channel ID, we don't need. ID, we don't need. Max results, we'll say 100. Moderation status, we don't need. Order, we'll say relevance. Page token, we don't need. Search terms, we don't need. Text format, plain text. The response is going to be in JSON, but the comments are going to be in plain text. So plain text, video ID. So let's take this guy right here. Now this is going to be dynamic, but for now we're just going to hard code it. So we're going to copy the video ID of this video, go back here, paste right here. And the credentials, we're not using Google OAuth 2.0. We're just using the API key. So let me execute it, and let me show you what that looks like. So we scroll down here, and this is going to be the result. It's kind of cluttered here. Let's do this. Let me show you the code. And we're going to be using just a simple fetch call. So we're just going to be using the HTTP version of this call instead of the JavaScript where we have to initialize an API and then we can use it. So HTTP. Let me copy this and show you guys what it looks like on a larger page. Let's go here, paste, and this API key we need to fill out right here. So we'll delete this. We'll copy our API key, paste it right here, enter. This is the what we're going to get as a response. So we're going to have to parse through all of this, get the comments. Then we're going to sort the comments, see if they have timestamps like this. If there's a timestamp, we keep the comment. If there's no timestamp, we're just going to discard the comment. So anyways, this is what the data that comes back looks like. So let's go ahead into the extensions tab here and load up the extension and start programming. So load unpacked. We'll go to wherever you have your folder. Select the folder. That's the icon. We'll go to the background page so we can troubleshoot or diagnose what's happening in our program. All right, so let's move on to the general workflow of the background and foreground. How is this thing going to work? Well, when our Chrome extension installs, it is going to load up this background.js file. This background.js file is going to pay attention to what the user is doing with their tabs. And if it's a proper tab like this, if it's YouTube HTTPS www.youtube.com/watch right here, then we know they're watching a video. And so when they hit this we're going to use regular expressions. When they trigger this part right here, we're going to inject our foreground script into this page. So let's code for that in the background. So we do that by listening to what the user's doing. So what we can say is chrome.tabs.onUpdated.add listener, and it gives us three things. It gives us the tab ID of the tabs they're using. It gives us the change info, what changed, based on, there's a life cycle. So there's loading and there's complete, things like that. And it gives us tab info. I'll print out all of these so you guys can see what we're working with. Let's do some proper spacing. Console.log that tab ID. We'll console.log the change info. And we'll console.log the tab. Console.log the tab. All right, save. Go back to our extension tab here. We'll refresh. All right. Let's go to the console here. Refresh this page. All right, pause the video. All right, so this is the tab ID 13. So it's the tab ID of this guy right here. This is tab 13, and these guys have their own numbers. It might not be like 10, 11, 12, 13. Depending on what the user's doing, it just assigns a number to the tab. This is the change info. So there's a status loading, there's the fave icon URL, things like that. We're going to listen for this, status complete. We'll get to that back in a second. And this is the tab info. So active, it gives you the URL right here, which is what we're going to use to check whether or not they're watching a video. It gives the title of the tab, status, so on and so forth. So when we're listening to, let me pause this. So when we're listening to what they're doing, we're going to see whether or not they're on a youtube.com/watch. So let me copy this. We need to see if they're on a YouTube video. So we do with a little regular expression. So // caret. That means the beginning of the string. If it matches https : escape / www escape the period YouTube escape the period .com escape the / watch. So if it's this URL, this beginning part right here, we're pretty sure they're watching a video. So we're just going to test the URL. So test, and we're going to test the URL, this one right here. So it's going to be in the, tab.url. So tab.url. So if they're on a YouTube video, we're going to inject some CSS and some our foreground script. So it's going to be chrome.tabs. What is it going to be? Insert CSS. We're going to use the tab ID, and we're going to inject a file. And that file is this guy right here, the mystyles.css. Currently, there's nothing in there. It's just blank. We're going to need that for styling the pop-up, the floating comment. So it's going to be /mystyles.css. So that's how you inject CSS. To inject a script, we do chrome.tabs.execute script. Same thing, tab ID. So insert into that tab ID, which is 13. So insert to tab 13 a file. And that file is going to be called, what's the file called? Foreground.js. Now, we need to watch for something. We don't want to inject the file too early. Where's the part right here? We want to inject the file when the status right here goes from loading to down here. Once the tab, all that data is loaded on the page, then we're confident that all of these things are loaded so we can properly grab and manipulate the page. So we need to check the status before we inject all of this stuff. So if change info.status, change info dot, one more time, status is equal to complete, then we know the tab is fully loaded. There we go. There we go. All right, so if the change info.status is complete, which means the tab is fully loaded, and the URL is a video of a YouTube video they're watching, then we're going to inject some CSS and the foreground script. So let's go to the foreground here, and what are we going to do when we first land on the page? When the foreground script says, hey, I'm on a YouTube video, what do you want me to do? Well, we're going to send a message back to the background script saying, hey, we're now on the foreground, we're in the page. Can you please get the comments associated with the video down here? So things like 042, 339 Matt Stoney, 041 Nani, whatever that means, things like that. So we're going to send a message back to the backend. And what that looks like is chrome.runtime.send message, and we're going to send a message called how about just get me the comments. There we go. Get me the comments. Perfect. And we accept or we get this message by using this function here. I'm not going to go over how it works exactly. That's in the video on the link in the description below or a card in the top right. This doesn't need to be async just yet. So we're just going to say if the request that you send me, request.message, if the message is equal to get me the comments, then we're going to run our little Ajax fetch call, which is just this guy right here. This guy right here, let me copy this. Run this guy right here. And we're going to break this down so it looks nicer. We're going to run this guy right here. We're going to get the comments. We're going to parse, sort, and then we're going to send back a filtered, cleaned up version of the comments. So let's put this in a separate function. I don't want to clutter up this this function right here. What we're going to say is, let's write it up here. Need some space. Let's say function get comments. There we go. And we need to know the ID of the video. Currently, it's hard-coded to be this guy right here, NLQ whatever. We need to send back this parameter right here. This guy right here, depending on which video they're on, this guy changes. So let's go to the foreground script and do that before we do anything else. So it's going to be get me the comments, and we're just going to give them the video ID. Now, how do we get the video ID? Well, we're just going to use I guess you call it a method, in order to break down this query string right here. So we're just going to say let, should be a let, yeah, const. Let's say query params equal new, I think it's URL search params, perfect. And what are we going to be searching for? We're going to be searching for something called location.search. And then that should be, that gives us this query string right here. We need the key or the property v. So we're just going to put it right here instead of putting it in a separate variable. We're just going to say query params.get me the property or the value associated with the property v like that. So we're sending the video ID back to the back end. So it gets it right here. Request.message is the message. Request. Video ID is the ID. So this get comments right here should accept a video ID. So it knows where to, what URL to ping right here, which ID to put in this string. And again, we'll just break down this string in a couple of seconds. So I'll just call the function here, get comments. I'm going to give you the request.video ID. Was that lowercase d? That was a lowercase, no. Let's keep it a lowercase. ID. It's a lowercase, video ID, lowercase, perfect. So we send the video ID. Let's break down this string. So we're going to say, for this guy is, let's say let the fetch string, let's call it fetch string, equal, and we'll start with this. It's going to be equal to, let's copy all of the stuff except the parameters. So copy, cut, and we'll paste it right here, and we'll just do this. We're going to say fetch string plus equal, something like that. And the first thing is going to be a part equals something like that, and ampersand. And then we're just going to copy and paste this guy. So it's going to be part, max results, order, text format, video ID, API key. So 6 things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this guy should be max results. And this guy should be, what are you going to be? You're going to be the order. Next guy's going to be the text format. The next guy's going to be video ID, which we got for the argument. And the last guy's going to be the key. And we can delete this. Not right now. Let me just fill in these guys. So instead of hard coding these guys in here with a string, let's create an object to hold all this data. So let's call it the let's say fetch or YouTube API options. YouTube API options equal this. So let's go, the part's going to be, that's going to be equal to snippet. And then we get the max results. That's going to be 100. And then we get the order, which is relevance, RELEVANCE. And then we get the, text format. It's going to be plain text. And then we get the video, which we don't need, which we get from here. So we can skip that. And then we get the API key. So just call it key. And we'll just copy paste from here. Copy, paste. We can delete this now or close this. All right, let's use those guys in here. It's going to be the YouTube API options dot part. YouTube API options dot max results order. And then we get the text format. And then we get the video ID, which is just the video ID passed in as a parameter. And then we get the key, which is dot key. All right, so we have the string all set up. Let me print that out. Just make sure we got it. Console.log the, what do we got? The fetch string. And let's get comments right. So with the send, once we inject, it'll send and it should go. So we'll go to our extension, refresh the extension, go back to our page, refresh the page, Control-Shift-J, get the console up. We should be getting an output on the back end showing the string. Why aren't we getting that? Max, if youtube.com / what is this slash here? We're not escaping a slash, we're escaping a period, so we can delete that. So let me just check this, http://youtube.com/watch. All right, let's try again. Go back to our Chrome extension. We refresh the page. Let me pause the video. And on the back end, we should get the fetch string. Perfect, there we go. So Google API, YouTube, part snippet, max results. Let me click that. So I clicked it, and we have all the information. Okay, so that's wired up. Now when the foreground script gets injected to any sort of YouTube video, it sends back the video ID. The background constructs the fetch string from that video. And now we need to actually fetch with Ajax. So we're just going to say $.ajax, and the URL is going to be our fetch string. Let's do a method of get, just to be explicit. And then let's look for status codes. So status code or status codes. I think it's status code. Let's just gonna look for a 200. That was what we got back, right? Let's go here. Let me see what it's giving us back. If there's, it shows us the code. Status code, status, Control F, status. Nothing there. We're gonna assume it's a 200. So status code 200. We're gonna do some stuff. We'll do it like this. And 404 or 400, we'll just do, I don't know, console.log error. Same thing for the 404. All right, so if we have a 200, we know we got the comments properly. What we're going to do is, let's run a function. Let's do this. And so we need to parse and sort the comments. And we're just going to give them the raw data, like that. Let's write that function. So get comments, function, parse and sort comments. You give me the raw data for the comments. There we go. Now what do we need to do? We need to go through all of this and pick out, well, let me just throw it in the console. It's going to be easier to explain. We'll just do this, console.log the comments. Save, we go back, refresh the extension, go back here, refresh the page, go here, and we should get comment is not defined. It should be comments. Where are my comments? Actually, there, it's not defined. Say package. Send me back the package. Save, go back, refresh the extension. Let's clear that error. Clear, refresh, refresh. Stop the video. Let's go here. All right, so this is the package, the response. What we need to do is we're going to loop through this this object, specifically this array, these items, and the comments are buried. So I'm just going to copy and paste some code I wrote, and I'll go through it with you. So it's going to be within some sort of index. So index 0, snippet, top level comment, snippet again, and then we get the author right here, which we're going to capture, and then we get their comment right here, text original. So we're going to loop through this array, and we're just going to take out the author and the comment, and then we're going to loop through that array, and if the comment has a time code or stamp associated with it, we'll keep that comment. If it doesn't, we'll just discard that. So let's copy and paste some code here. All right, so I've copied and pasted some code here. The filtered comments, I've created an empty array. We're going to use that to hold the sorted comments. So the sorted or filtered comments is equal to the comments passed in. So that response dot items, which is that array right here. So all these items, we loop through each item and we return the author, which is item, snippet, top level comment, snippet, author display name, and the comment associated with it. So we're basically just creating an array of objects, and in those objects we have the author and the comment. Now we need to loop through this guy again. I'm going to copy and paste some code. And if the comment has a timestamp associated with it, we'll keep the comment. If it doesn't, we'll lose or discard the comment. All right, so I've copied and pasted another bit of code. I've created a separate regular expression. So you can create regular expressions like this, or you can just use them inline like this. I just put this up here just to be explicit about what we're doing. So all this regular expression does is it matches things like 0015 or 015, things like that. Or if, I don't know why someone would write it like this, but a timestamp that looks like this, or timestamps that look like this. So just looking for some sort of timestamp. So we loop through the filtered comments right here for each. And if the comment, this part here, this text display, if there's some sort of timestamp in it, we're going to push that comment into a new array called the filtered and sorted comments. And we're going to have another object within the arrays, the timestamp associated with that comment, the author, and the comment itself. So let me just print this out in the console. Let me show you guys these steps we're taking. Console.log the filtered and sorted, and then we'll console.log just the filtered comments. And I need the parentheses. And now we're just console.log the raw data comments. Save, we go back, we refresh the extension, refresh the page. Go back to our background script. All right, so these are the steps we're taking. This is the raw data here, all that stuff with the items like that. And then we filter them based on author and comment. So we have objects like this, author and the comment, author and the comment. And then one more time, we filter down. If there is a comment that contains a timestamp like this, we save that comment. So before we send these comments up to the front end, we need to handle these timestamps. On the front end, the playback time is measured in seconds, not this minute, second business. So we need to convert these guys to all seconds. How are we going to do that? Let me do it here and then we'll do it on the back end. Just say let x is equal to, let's say the timestamp 337. What we're going to say is let y equal x dot split, and we'll split by the colon. That should give us an array. Perfect. So we have the minute and the second here. We just need to add these, but we need to multiply this minute by 60 in order to get seconds. So just say let z equal parse the float of y first guy, and that's going to be multiplied by 60, and we're just going to add the 37, also a float. So plus parse the float and the y of the second, second element, first index. And so z would be equal to 217. So the equivalent of 3 minutes 37 seconds is 217 seconds. Let's go to the calculator and see if that's correct. Go calculator, 217 divided by 60 gives us 3 minutes and 61% of a second. So 60 times 61%, 36. So 336.6. 337, perfect. So that's going to be what we're going to do in the back end. We're just going to split it up and then add the two values. So let's go to the back end here and close that calculator. Let's go here. We can delete these right here. Delete. We'll say filtered and sorted comments. So equal to filtered and sorted. And we're just going to map. Should we map? Are we mapping? Yeah, we'll map. So we'll map the comment. There we go. And let's just create a temp array for that splitting business. So let temp array equal that. And let's just say converted into seconds. Let's make it 0.0. Let's say temp array is equal to comment.timestamp.split by the colon. And then we'll do the converted is equal to the parse float of our temp array first element, so 0. Times 60 plus a parse float of the second element, so temp array 1. Let's print that out to see what we get. Let's return a new object first. So timestamp is going to be converted, and we'll just save the author. We'll keep the author in the comment, of course. So comment dot author. And then we'll say the comment is just comment.comment. Comment.comment. All right, let's print out the new array here. Console.log, filtered and sorted. And we'll print the old one here. Save. We go back to our extension. We refresh here. And you pause the video. Okay. Let's go to our background. All right, so this is before the conversion, 0:42, 3:39. And then we have after the conversion, 42, 219. So let's push this guy to the front end. How are we going to do that? Delete these. All right, right here. So after we get the comments, we're going to send a message to the front end. So chrome.tabs, that's send message. And we need the ID of the tab that we're sending this to. So that should be in sender.tab.id. This guy right here. So we'll send a message. That message will be, here are your comments. And we'll send the comments. So comments is equal to, filtered and sorted comments. All right, one last thing before we send the comment to the front end. This getComments function. It uses an asynchronous call here, this AJAX call right here. So if we don't await this, if we don't wait in the code for this to get back the data, this line will run before we get the data. And this filtered and sorted comments would be a blank array. So we need a code for that. What we need to say is, create an async function here. We'll just say await, so wait for the get comments, and we have to return a promise or an asynchronous call function. We'll just return the Ajax like that. So when you call the get comments, well, the code will wait for get comments, the Ajax call specifically, and then we'll send the comments to the front end. Let's capture this. So it's here are your comments. So in our listener on the front end, we'll say if the request.message is equal to here are your comments. And there we go. And we'll just console.log the comments. So request.comments. All right, let's go back here. Let's refresh the extension, refresh the page. There we go. So on the front end, we get all of those comments with the appropriate second calculations on the timestamp. All right, so we successfully downloaded the comments on the back end using the YouTube API. We've parsed and sorted those comments. We pushed those to the front end. Now all the front end has to do, we have to write an algorithm that tracks the playback time of this video, and then depending on where it is in the video and the timestamp, it displays a comment. Let's start with this. Let's actually save the comments on the front end. Currently we're just logging it out. Let's save that here. Say let comments equal a blank array, and down here we'll say comments is equal to that request dot comments. There we go. Let me show you guys the playback time, and let's save that in a separate variable as well. So let current playback time equal 0.0, and down here we'll set it. We'll say current playback time is equal to, and exists in a query selector, a class of video stream. So .video dash stream, and it's just going to be the current time. There we go. And let's log that out. Current playback time. Save. We go to our extension. Refresh the extension, refresh the page. And so that's the current playback time. That's 0 right there. And let's put that in a loop so I don't have to manually do it, because it just got called once. Let's put all this code in here so we know for sure we got the comments. And then we'll put it in a separate function later. So just delete all this, or excuse me, copy all this. Put that down there. And put this in an interval. So set interval, not timeout. Set interval, there we go. We'll just say, I don't know, 100 milliseconds. Copy, paste, some proper semicolons. Save, go back, refresh the extension, refresh the page. And this is what the current playback time looks like. 0.3, 1.5. We don't need all these decimals, so I'll just cut that off with using a floor function. And also I need a way to stop this loop. It's just going to go endlessly. So let's do this. Let interval ID equal null. We set that here, interval ID. And let's do a listener. So document.add event listener. I'll listen for a key up event. And when I do an A, so event.key is equal to A, we're just going to clear the interval. So interval ID. It stops it from looping endlessly. And what else did I say we was going to do? Oh, yes, take away the decimals. So we'll just do a math.floor. So math, not there. Right here, math.floor. Save, go back, refresh the extension, refresh the page, and we should just get like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, things like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. Press A to stop that. Behavior, perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of discriminate which timestamps we want to show and which ones we don't. So the first step to doing this is based on the playback time. Let's say the playback time is at, let me pause the video. Let's say the playback time is at 2 minutes and 6 seconds. If there's a timestamp in our comments at 54 seconds, we know we don't have to show it because we're way past it. But let's say our playback time is at 2:06 and the timestamp is at 2:56. We know we haven't reached that timestamp yet, so we need to show it. We need to take that into account. I'm just going to create a little, not a function, but a mechanism for kind of sorting these comments. What we're going to say is, we'll say comments.forEach comment. And then we're just going to say So if the current playback time is less than the timestamp of the comment, which would be right here, then we know we haven't shown it yet. So I'm just going to print out that comment. So console.log that comment. There we go. Save, go back, refresh the extension, refresh the page, and let me skip this ad. So as you can see, the comments are showing on the left here. All right, so we're showing all of the comments, and that's because the playback time is at 2 seconds, and all of the comments are like 46 seconds, 41. There's one at 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Watch what happens when I speed up the playback time to, I think there's a big lull between 46 and 3 minutes. So let's say 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 10 seconds. So currently we're printing out all the comments. Watch what happens when I speed it up to 214. I go all the way down here. Let's see which comments we're printing out now. Let me scroll all the way down. It's going really fast. All right, so currently we're just showing the 219 seconds or the 339 timestamps. All those 41, 46, 43 timestamps, those are no longer being taken into account. So we've kind of sorted the array kind of into two categories: whether or not it's been shown, so whether or not it's below the current playback time, and whether or not it's above the current playback time. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another if conditional. What we're going to say is if the current playback time is equal to the comment.timestamp. So instead of showing all of the comments that are still to be shown, so above the current playback time, we just want to show the comment as soon as the playback time actually hits the timestamp of that comment. So comment.timestamp, there we go, console.log the comment. Let me delete this guy here. Let's refresh the extension, refresh the page. So we should get less spam on the console here. Currently the playback's at 3. I think the first comment's at like 39. So let me speed this guy up to 31, and then we'll see what happens at the 39 second mark. So 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. Perfect. Let me stop this. Let me stop the loop. All right, so one huge problem here. What we're doing is we're simulating when the comment's going to show. When we hit the 39 mark, we got the 39 comment to show, but it showed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Why did it do this? It's because the interval between calls here is 100 milliseconds. So every 100th of a millisecond, it shows the comment. We want to show it once and one only. So we have to use another array to kind of queue up the comments we want to show. Once we've shown the comment, we want to pop that or remove that from the array so that comment can't be shown again. So we're going to do that with this. We're going to have a comments array, obviously, and we're going to have a queued comments array. So queued comments is equal to, there we go. And so what's going to be in the queued comments? Well, it's going to be all of the comments that are above or yet to be shown. They're greater than the playback time. That's this functionality right here. So if the current playback time is less than the timestamp or the timestamp is greater than the current playback time, we want to add it to the queued comments. So we're going to say queued comments dot push, and we're going to push in the comment. However, just like we had multiple showings of this comment here, if we coded it like this, we'd have multiple pushes of the same comment. So we need to take into account that this thing's running really quickly. We need to ask the queued comments, do you have this comment already in your queue? If you do, don't add the comment. If you don't, add the comment. So this is too simple. We need to say something like if queued comments dot includes the current comment, and we want to not this, so an exclamation mark. So if it's not in the current queued comments, then we push it in like that. Perfect. Let me just do this. Just put some semicolons because we're going to write some more code here. All right. So we're queuing or putting in the comments yet to be shown in a separate array. Now this guy takes into account the comment array. We need a separate loop that takes into account the queued comments array. So we can take this guy out of there, delete that. What we're going to say is instead of comments for each, it's going to be queued comments for each. And we're just going to say queued comment. And it's the exact same logic. I shouldn't have deleted it like that. We're just going to say that if the current playback time is equal to, And instead of the comment.timestamp, it's going to be the queued comment, not comments.timestamp. There we go. Then we know we have to show the comment. So we're just going to console.log the queued comment like this. Save, we go back, refresh the extension, refresh the page, and let's speed up to the 36-second mark. Let's skip the ad first. So let's speed up to 35 seconds. Let's see what happens at 39 seconds. All right, we get the same behavior. Press A button, stop the video. Now, once we show the queued comment, we want to take that comment out of the queued comments. We do this by using the splice command. So what we're going to say is the queued comments dot splice, and it takes an index to start at. The index we want to start at is the index of this queued comment guy. So we can just say something like queued comments dot index of that queued comment, and then the second argument in this guy is how many spaces or places from that index do you want to delete. We just want to delete one, which is that queued comment. So we add the one here. We'll save, we go back, refresh the extension, refresh the page. Let me speed up to the 35, 34 second mark. Speed up there, let me close that. And let's see what happens at 39 seconds. We should get one pop-up. There we go. So we just prevented that spamming of the 39. And as you can see, it's hitting 41, 42, 43, 44. Let's go to, I think it was 339. What is that in seconds? I think 217. 339, 217. Let's go 339. Or was it 314? Let's try 311. I think it was 311. Let's see what happens at 317. Was there a comment there? No, there wasn't a comment there. I know there was a comment at 339. Let's go to 335. 335. There's the 337 comment. There's the 339. Let's go back to around 35 to see if it still works. So it's 36, 37, 39. There we go again. And then we should get to 41, 42, 43. All right, so we've just solved that problem of running or showing, quote unquote, this is like a dry run of showing the comment multiple times by using this logic here. All that's really left to do is to style this thing. We're going to put it in some sort of div or something, and we're just going to make it float. So I'm just going to fast forward, and I'll show you guys the final product. All right, so I've just coded up the visual aspect of the Chrome extension. This is the end product here. Let me speed up to, I think it was 39. Let's go 35. Let's go 35 and see what we get. So 39 should start displaying some comments. There we go. You can tweak it obviously to make it look how you want to look, but that's the basic functionality of this Chrome extension. Let me show you the code. I'm not going to go in depth into how I made these divs float. I did a video on that already called How to Float Cards or Images. I'll leave a link in the description below or a card on the top right. If I went into that code right now, this video would be another 10, 15, 20 minutes long. So this is the code here. All we're doing is we're inserting a div element. This is the styling of it. So padding, colors, width, and all that stuff. And we're inserting into the page. And then we're using a math function called sine in order to create this kind of curve that the comment follows. And we're just animating. Again, I'm not going to go over it in this video. I'll leave a link in the description or a card on the top right. We're hooking into the request animation frame, and this is how we're making an animation loop so the card floats. So that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to give a like if you found any sort of value in it. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next video. What that's going to be, I don't know. Maybe another Let's Dev or just some playing around with images. Who knows what that's going to be, but I'll see you guys in that one.